Let's get started. And what a better place to start than the big story? Well, start big, which is something that a lot of people have been writing in about. It's those short-lived $500 checks that the state was handing out. Well, first and foremost, you should know, they're gone. Yeah, already. They started handing them out on Wednesday. They had enough for 70,000 people. And today, poof, bye-bye, all gone, no more. But not before 3 days of this. Lines of upwards of 200 people outside of banks and credit unions. And these are people desperate for money right now. People willing to risk a pandemic, to wait in line for upwards of 5 hours. This is such stressful stuff for people. I mean, look, fights were breaking out in those lines in some cases, all for $500, which is enough to pay a few bills. And it's life-saving money right now for some people. Officials with the state said 62% of that money went to people outside of the Portland metro area. Still, the whole process struck a lot of people as not being very well thought out, or even in some cases being unfair. A viewer named Kelly tweeted us this, saying, "Whoever decided that the $500 was offered first come, first serve has neglected people who have access issues, disability, transportation, caregivers, etc." Thank you for writing that in, Kelly. And something tells me that this woman you see here would agree with you. That is Cindy Barber. She's been fighting lupus since 1997. That means that she is immunocompromised. In other words, not somebody who should be spending time in close quarters with other people during a deadly pandemic. But she needed the money, so she stood in line outside of two separate OnPoint credit unions. She waited and she waited and she risked her health, but the money ran out and she got nothing. And yes, she did try to apply online, but says that didn't work for her either.
It's everything to me. It's my energy bill. It's rent. I've reached out to all my state legislators, Speaker of the House, President of the Senate. Can't get through to anybody. Nobody's returning calls. There isn't somebody that I can reach out to, which means nobody else. If I have the wherewithal to figure out who to call for helpline, I know that there are at least 90% below me that don't even have the knowledge to reach out to a lifeline as our legislators.
How obvious is the desperation in her voice there? I mean, she knew the risks. She went anyway, and she's not really sure if she made the right call or not in doing that. She's also not convinced if the banks and the credit unions were prepared enough to keep that many people safe.
I'm not sure what their definition of safe is, but bringing out pens that then turn into community pens to fill out the forms that you're need to fill out, that does not seem safe. Does not seem safe to me that you don't even hire a guard to remind people to socially distance. Now, there's going to be Karens out there, and there's going to, I don't know if that would inflame it, but when you see a bunch of hundreds of people, close it down, figure out something else. This isn't working. It's not worth infecting all of these people.
Close it down. This isn't working. Well, obviously there's no need to do that right now because the money's gone. It's all dried up, leaving people like Cindy waiting for the next batch of assistance. Whenever that might happen, we don't know right now. The two people who spearheaded this program held a press conference today. Oregon Senate President Peter Courtney and Oregon House Speaker Tina Kotek. I asked both of them about those safety concerns. Speaker Kotek gave me a pretty predictable answer, I would say, about branches doing their best and the state reacting the best way that they can. Senator Courtney, though, well, let's just say he didn't play it as safe.
I'm sorry, Dan. This was not a PhD dissertation situation at all. It just wasn't. It was that simple and that daring and that risk-taking. We didn't do it to show off. We had reached the point, enough is enough, we're going to do something. FDR once said, when he was in the middle of the mess he was, unemployment, et cetera, he said, just do something, even if it's wrong. Now, I got to be careful here, but I'll leave you with that thought. You reach the point in these kind of situations and our kind of positions that talk, meet with. And meanwhile, day follows night, night follows day. And by the way, the person who couldn't pay their rent today can't pay it tomorrow night. When are you going to finally do something? So I mean that, Dan. It's very important you understand. We did not hold a summit meeting. We did not get together we didn't do that. And it's not that we didn't care about the virus. We surely did. It's just that we felt the pain was so bad and people's loss of respect was so bad that we had to do what we did the way we did it.
I also asked how much money would have met the demand since that $35 million ran out relatively quickly. Speaker Kotek said a realistic figure is probably in the range of hundreds of millions of dollars.